Good morning and good morning. That's about all I got to say. And how you doing today? So it is Wednesday, March 11th. I'm Phil Brilliant. This is Simply Brilliant. Going to do a short blurb this morning just to give you an update on what happened last night here in Toms River and then lead us into the Toms River Council meeting tonight. And it is Wednesday, so don't think it's Thursday. I did say I was going to do a Wednesday version and then come back on Thursday again, just because there is so much going on here in Toms River this week that it was a good opportunity to do a couple of extra shows or just videos. I guess these really aren't shows. I'm not dancing for you. But anyway, so last night, 6 p.m. at the Toms River Town Hall was a planning board meeting, a special planning board meeting called by Mayor Daniel Rodrick, who is a member of the planning board, to basically amend the master plan and get a recommendation to the council of the affordable housing uh, plan that the council will vote on tonight. So let's first talk about what happened last night. Uh, Mayor Rodrick did sit on the dais and did sit himself as a member of the planning board. That is allowed by the code. Doesn't always happen, but it seems he likes to sit on the dais when there's a controversial vote. Uh, and everything passed last night by a vote of 6-1, with the only no vote on the motions by Councilman Clinton Bradley, who sits on the planning board as one of the class appointees from the council as a representative council. Actually, I didn't even time how long the meeting was. I'm going to say it was over 2 hours. There were a lot of people from Lake Ridge Residential Development up in North Dover on Route 70 speaking, a lot of other residents speaking about how this is going to change the dynamics of Toms River, from the traffic to the infrastructure to basically removing almost every wooded area in North Dover and on the Route 9 corridor. Um, the minute the vote happened, and I will tell you, there are a couple videos out there. Dana Tormolin, a resident of Toms River, Paul Williams, a resident of Toms River. They have videos. I think they're all over Facebook. You should watch and listen because, Councilman Nivison, Council Vice President Nivison, who did ask some questions last night of the attorney. And I'll tell you, I mean, the attorney under rapid fire of questions does a good job. But I get concerned that he gets sucked into the Roderick chaos because Roderick starts answering questions. You don't know what's going to come out of his mouth. Also, there was the planner, Richard Hunt. And, so they had their team. Hopefully, they have their team again tonight to discuss with council. But long story short, uh, you just knew where this was all going. A couple of, when I got up and made a couple of statements, planning board member Kim Pascarella, who also is the township prosecutor, who also is a commissioner on the MUA. We'll come back to that later. Uh, I don't really think he looked at the resolutions or the ordinances or had any idea, because he was talking about clearing land and additional acres. He was talking about the new Route 9 parcel when we were talking about Route 70. So, and then he came out with some very strong statements about this isn't Toms River, this is Trenton. You go to Trenton, 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 Trenton. Don't disagree, but at the same time, Toms River has fought affordable housing. They have fought to maintain what Toms River is. And I don't understand why, at this point in time, the mayor would throw his arms up and just give in. A lot of the discussion centered on the fact that Hope's Crossing, the night began with Hope's Crossing had withdrawn from the affordable housing plan to they wanted more, to they wanted something that was illegal, to we're still in negotiations. So no idea what the real truth is, and that all of this is on the table. Nothing is set in stone, and it can change anytime over the next 10 years. I don't really think that's true, but not an expert. But if a judge makes a decision, the only way you change that decision is if you go to the higher courts. We'll see how all that plays out. There was a lot of people saying, get an extension, go to the judge, ask for more time so we can negotiate and we don't clear more land. But the minute the vote occurred, and it was a 6-1 vote, I got a text message. And the entire town got a text message from Mayor Daniel Rodrick. It's on his letterhead. And I'm going to go through what it details because there's a lot of inaccuracies. But the other thing is, it says, you know, this is Mayor Rodrick. Tom's River is in big trouble, and I need your help. And that Councilman Bianchini, Nivison, Sikosi, and Bradley are about to force our town into a disastrous situation, one that could see more than 8,000 new apartments built across our community. I know that sounds crazy to you because it is. And I want to go real quick, point by point. I don't want to spend a lot of your time. The claim, Tom's River's in big trouble. Developers will build 8,000 apartments all over town, and we won't be able to stop it. Why is this misleading? Fair share housing obligations do not automatically authorize 8,000 homes to be built. Affordable housing require typical municipal planning and zoning. It is not bypassed. Development still requires zoning compliance, site plan approval, environmental review, infrastructure capacity, financial, and marketing feasibility. Reality is, the zoning may allow higher density, but the actual development is well farther, lower, whatever the word might be, than what Daniel Rodrick's saying. 8,000 new homes are not getting built in Tom's River. Apartments would not require approval of our planning or zoning board. That's what he says. Even under builders' remedy lawsuits or state mandated obligations, you still go through site plan approval, planning board approval, environmental regulations, stormwater infrastructure compliance, building permits, and state DEP and other regulatory permits. Keep in mind, some of these sites may require CAFRA permits, and CAFRA is extremely tough and could be a 2-year process to get permits. Local boards do not lose their authority entirely. Okay. There's less ability to reject projects, but they still must comply and they still must come to Tom's River for approval. This is not a sign the dotted line and you're screwed approach. Claim, like Lakewood, our population will surge by 40 or 50,000 people. Population increase depends upon household size, number of units actually built, market demand, and construction timelines. Okay. If you built 8,000 units, and if each household is 2.5 people, that's 20,000 people, not 40,000 or 50,000. Huge difference. But at the same time, 8,000 units will not be built. Claim, a city of high-rise apartments will be built downtown. The affordable housing plan has nothing to do with downtown development. Daniel Rodrick made sure it was carved out, even though the affordable housing plan perception and original thought was 43 units out of the downtown. That's out of the plan. Daniel Rodrick made sure that wouldn't happen. Okay. And by the way, most projects are townhouses and condos. They're mixed developments. They're not high rises because not for nothing, you would need special zoning for high rises. Not going to happen. It's just more Rodrick chaos. Your taxes will skyrocket to cover education, busing, and township services. I asked the question. Multiple people asked the question. Daniel Rodrick said there will be no more pilots. These two developments, whether it's Route 9 and Route 70, will not be pilots. They will pay full taxes. It's on record. I'm going to ask them again tonight. Affordable housing projects generally always generate property tax revenues. The developers pay a tax or a fee to the town and their developer contributions. Far, far, far from the truth. Rodrick states, my plan only requires 183 new affordable units. Why is this misleading? Because those are the affordable units of 183. But it's really about 700 to 900 units total. He didn't include the 110 that he's proposing to replace Hope's Crossing. So we're close to about 1,000 units is what he is proposing to build. It has changed from, he said, being the best plan in the state of New Jersey. And developers will build 8,000 apartments anywhere they want to? No. They still have to comply with local requirements. Projects usually are 20% set aside for affordable. So the 80%, if you're only doing 183 set aside, you're looking at about 700 overall. It's not 8,000 apartments. And his use, he scares people into thinking it's the truth. Big trouble, disastrous situations, city of high rises, taxes are going to skyrocket. There's nothing to support any of that in the letter. Do not believe it. And then he publishes the personal cell phone numbers of the council members. And it is their personal cell phone number. It's harassment. It's intimidation. It has an ethical concern to it that may be misuse of public resources, privacy concerns, and government communication is an issue. These are things that will be looked into further. And he puts it on government letterhead from the desk of the mayor, and that's political advocacy. And you should not be using township letterhead and signing as the mayor when you are going against other elected officials. It raises ethical concerns, misuse of public communications, political messaging funded by taxpayer dollars. Thankfully, it wasn't mailed out yet. So the summary, the inaccuracies or exaggerations. There's not 8,000 apartments. He claims the planning board will have no authority. That's false. The population increase is exaggerated. High-rise development claims, exaggerated. Tax increases, unsupported. Possible misuse of municipal letterhead, publication of personal cell phones, and fear-based messaging. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Don't stand for it. Come out tonight, because tonight on the Toms River Council agenda are the final readings of 3 ordinances that are very important to the affordable housing. Tonight's meeting is at 6:30. It's at Town Hall. It's going to start off hopefully very pleasant because they are going to honor the family of Bud Lamel, the World War II hero here in Toms River that recently the VA hospital was renamed for. Then we'll get into the fireworks. There are 3 final readings of ordinances relative to the affordable housing. And I will tell you personally, I think Toms River should keep fighting. I think you should go back to the negotiation table with Hope's Crossing and see what you can do. I think you should look at other developments. You should not be giving up open space on Route 9 that Toms River bought with your taxpayer money for over $10 million. And if you can avoid it, don't build around Lake Ridge. I heard some stories last night about family members and friends who have been killed on that intersection. Why are we adding more traffic there? DOT is not coming through and changing Route 9 or Route 70. Not going to happen. We need to do more to protect those areas. Also on the agenda tonight is an ordinance repealing the rent leveling board. I don't know enough about it yet. Going to look into that. And then also the ordinance to set a number of 162, I think it is, that the police should be at. Basically stating this is the number that Toms River needs to have their police force set at all times. There are some first readings of some interesting ordinances. And I will tell you that I have been told that 2 of these 3 were placed on the agenda without council approval. I'm interested to see how that's handled tonight. One is to eliminate health benefits to the members of the Toms River MUA. Complete transparency. I'm not a member, I'm a commissioner of the Toms River MUA, but I think that's what they're trying to do. I will tell you, I don't think they have the authority, but we'll see how this all plays out. I'm going to stay away from it, but also just to remember that 3 of the commissioners, Sam Ellenbogen, Kim Pascarella, and Jim Bratton, are appointees of Daniel Rodrick, Mayor Rodrick. He recommended them to council. Council has appointed them, is the true way it goes. And Jim Bratton is the stepson of Councilman Coleman. He should not be voting tonight. The other one is to eliminate health benefits to part-time elected officials. In my book, Daniel Rodrick's a part-time elected official. This would apply to him also. How can you have two full-time jobs, two full-time public jobs? So I will tell you, it'll be interesting to see how those two go. And the third ordinance for first reading tonight is a municipal vehicle utilization and establishing restrictions. I have not read it. I'm hearing that it has something to do with the use of Mayor Roderick's vehicle. You should come out and everybody should come listen to this tonight. On the consent agenda, there's some tax things. There's the grace period due to the weather that we had. I'm quickly looking through it. There is an interesting one, which is letter F, which is, what's the word they use? Canceling a contract for the boardwalk expansion, parking, and pedestrian access road project in Ortley that's been approved, and eliminating Ashland Contracting and replacing them with BlackRock Enterprise. I want to hear more about that. Why are we replacing the contractor? Actually, for more money. What happened out there? And then basically appointing a new construction official retroactive to February 2nd, because if we remember, Ben Silkowitz has been fired by Toms River, and that is a lawsuit that is pending. So I do tell you, come out tonight. It's important to be part of this decision. This is your future here in Toms River. Anything that's approved for affordable housing will be built over the next 10 years. I don't know about you. I expect to be here in the next 10 years. So do we want to see the town demographics, not demographics, let me take that back. That's the wrong word. The town characteristics change. Okay. Nothing to do with people who are moving into our town. It has to do with eliminating wooded areas, eliminating open space we have bought to protect that open space with our tax dollars, increasing the traffic that we already have too much of, putting more stress on the infrastructure, and let's talk about our schools. These are things that we need to worry about as residents of Toms River, and we should have a voice in this. Have your voice heard tonight. Second readings, final readings of ordinances, you get to comment. I'm Phil Brilliant. This is Simply Brilliant, and I hope to see you tonight at 6:30 at Toms River Town Hall. Take care and have a great day.